Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And you know, I think it's fair to say fandom has been at war for quite some time. So it's a civil war within itself, and it's not just one fandom, but all fandoms. You listen, this civil war, this cultural war, has spread out into like the real world. You know, now it's moved to like governments and nations and things like that. But we're a little bit ahead of the curve here in fandom. And the war's essentially over. The war's over. You know, we had a big divide. Jodie Whittaker came in as a new Doctor Who, and everybody went, "Oh, so stunning and brave! Oh, what animals wouldn't like this? What evil bigots wouldn't like this?" And anybody who didn't like it was therefore labelled an evil bigot, and that was really the divide. That was really the war, right? The war's over, as I said. The war is pretty much over because the thing that they are defending is dead. It's pretty much dead. Doctor Who is dead, is the one we're going to talk about. Comic books are dead. Star Trek's dead. And they just keep flogging a dead horse. But it's dead. The cultural influence of it, which is dead. So, yeah, they're going, what now then? What do we do now? And that's where the media is right now. Yeah, they went from saying, it's stunning and brave, and then they went on to say, there's evil bigots everywhere. And now eventually they say, well, maybe we should change it, right? So that's the arc we've had with fandom. We're going to be looking at this article from Screen Rant, one of the big flag wavers say, yay! Jodie Whittaker's the bestest ever, and everybody don't like her as an evil bigot. And it's written by this guy called Thomas Bacon, who is the biggest flag waver for that point of view, I think, for Screen Rant. We're going to be reading it. We are going to be ripping it apart. Okay? It's not going to do well. It's not going to. That's just my guess going into it. I don't think it's going to go down very well with me or you. But I think we're going to have fun reading it. We are going to take the piss out of it a lot. All right? A lot. Before we do that, can I ask you, can you hit the like button? That would be really, really nice. I do like that. Can you hit the like button? Can you hit the share button? Can you hit the subscribe button? My subscribers are slowly climbing up. Despite YouTube, rather than because of YouTube. I tell you, I wish I had one of those left-wing algorithms, you know, profiles that have like 100,000 subscribers by now. It's crazy. It's crazy. What, like, I have to get like 50 subscribers to get 10. It is, but still, you know, keep playing up. So can you, if you're subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not subscribed, could you consider hitting the subscribe button? And also comment. The algorithm loves to eat up your lovely comments. Nem. So like, share, subscribe, comment, and also you want to be super nice, go check out my Indiegogo. Finally, it's finishing, right? This is it. This is I think the last week of it. Been on all these. I was up at 4 a.m. Last morning, two mornings ago, to go on this really weird podcast. I really like the people there. I was the only person not a furry. I think I didn't really ask, but I wouldn't be surprised if I was the only person not a furry, on the panel at the time. Interesting, but I got on well with all of them. Go figure. Anyway, go check this out. It's 2 freaking awesome comic books. We got Biblical Bible Source, the Aces, Creatures, Rationalism Rogues, biblically accurate, but not preachy at all, because why would I preach? Like, okay, do what you want, mate. I don't really care. And then we got the Imperium, a lovely little Teddy fan 1960s. Dominic Ratchet did the art on this. He did all the extras. It's freaking awesome, mate. It's freaking awesome. What more could anybody want out of life? Listen, you might want more out of life. I don't know. But this is probably a good place to start, right? This is probably a very, very good place to start. Fine. So let's. Oh, there you go. Bit of Forces female action. Go check it out. Thank you very much. And really, you got about a week left, and we're really done. Fine. Let's have a look at this. Screen Rant. What Doctor Who needs to do to survive, not end? I mean, well, because if it doesn't do anything, it's going to end, right? We all know that. Basically, it's that point in The Last Jedi says, it's time for the Jedi to die. It's time for Doctor Who to die. And, like, why they always have the picture of her with a plaster on her nose? It always looks bad. Doctor Who's fan base is currently divided, with some arguing BBC flagship sci-fi TV series should be put down. But that's not the case. Oh, they're swinging, they're hating us to the end, right? Listen, if it's going to... I don't think Doctor Who can be made to be good in this current political TV environment, where they will take no responsibility for their failures, right? No responsibility. Like they lose, it's lost what 70% of its viewership. No, that's just Netflix, baby. That's just Netflix. Because people are consuming TV. No, people are consuming TV in exactly the same way. They avoid shit and they watch good things, which is why they don't watch you, BBC, because they avoid shit and they watch good things. Fine, so let's read this article. Doctor Who's fan base appears to believe the show is in dire straits, but there's no reason the BBC science fiction can't regenerate itself once again. There is one reason. The reason is that there's no will to regenerate it from the BBC. The BBC very much believe in critical race theory. They very much believe in Me Too, right? They believe they're fighting a war against evil bigots, and they do. It's a passionate belief of theirs, and they're not going to climb down. And if you try and talk to them and say, racism isn't really a thing, they go, "You're a racist! That's your white privilege!" I mean, because they're crazy, right? They're absolutely crazy, and they will take no responsibility for it. But that's basically why why Doctor Who has failed. It's instead of connecting to a mainstream audience, it's connected here. Once I've been showing this on all the videos I've been making today. Let me just I haven't really shown that, but I should show it more. Here, one second, we go up here. This is a cover for Captain Marvel, which was like the flagship progressive liberal comic book character, where they came out in 2013 and they said every piece of media said, "Oh, we love it, it's the best." It died a death, had to be rebooted, but it's been like restarted like 12 times. It's really bad. But look at this cover. This cover shows you exactly what's going on. A bunch of sneering people, mostly women or effeminate men, looking down their nose at you, sneering at one, like just sneering. They're all sneering at you and smearing in smug satisfaction. And then right at the front, we have a black person. And so you go, "Ooh, you don't like it." You go, "What's wrong with you? Don't like black people, bigot." That's basically the BBC. That is essentially the BBC and who they're catering for, which is why it's not working. Okay, which is why it is not working. It can't regenerate itself. Yeah, there's no reason it can't, other than the will of the people doing it, and they don't have a will to do it. Doctor Who is the world's longest-running sci-fi show, cancelled by the BBC in '89, and then relaunched in 2005 under Russell T Davies. Unfortunately, in recent years, it hasn't been exactly going from strength to strength. Well, that could be because you and media outlets like you have been lying your ass off for the last few years, saying it's the bestest ever, and look, they said the same thing about this bullcrap. They said it's the bestest ever, and then it was cancelled for lack of sales, and they brought it out again, said it's the bestest ever, then it was cancelled for lack of sales. Over and over again until they couldn't do it anymore. I mean, again, the mainstream comic book industry is over. Hasn't been exactly going for strength. Although Jodie Whittaker's debut delivered the highest ratings since 2010. Yes, you did a massive advertising campaign saying Doctor Who's a lady now. Let's all try it. And everybody looked at it. Everybody looked at it, and most people went, "Yeah, no." And then those who stayed around, it wasn't really apparent till I think the third or fourth episode how bad it was, how divisive it was, just what low quality it was. And so slowly but surely, over the course of the last 21 episodes, they lost 70% of that viewership. And of course, not their fault. No, it's because the country's bigots that like Netflix. That's what bigots is. They keep it to themselves, but it's Netflix is what they blame everything on. Viewing figures have dropped. Well, geez, that's a bit of an understatement. Delivered the highest rating since 2010. Viewing figures have dropped to the lowest point ever. Right, it's dropped to the only lower rating episodes were Battlefield from 1989, which was showed midweek, coming off a bad reputation of Doctor Who, and we're actually increasing in viewership as they went along rather than decreasing, right? It's done very well, as opposed to Jodie Whittaker, very solid, 7 o'clock, very protected, Sunday night slot, still is lost. It should be working. Somebody wrote in the comment, like an essay saying, it should be working, but it's not. It's not. It's just a reality. And I guess eventually reality is hitting it. And so my guess is, the show's not long for the world, right? This Sunday they're going to do the Comic Con panel. They say a special mystery guest, and they really are hyping it. So some people are saying, well, it's probably something Sacha Dhawan, something they're excited about, but not that excited, or Joe Martin. Or it's like somebody genuinely exciting, like David Tennant or Tom Baker. Who knows? Who knows? Or maybe it's the next Doctor. I doubt it's the next Doctor. I really do. But yeah, I guess nobody. Every have reports about these rumors. All these rumors flying around. The rumors are basically fun stuff to talk about until they become fact, right? Until they become fact, nobody knows anything, right? And anybody says they know anything probably doesn't. Current Showrunner Christian was focused on trying to make Doctor Who look more lavish than it ever did before, but writing has been heavily criticised with plot twists such as the timeless trial reveal dividing the fan place, or revel in dividing the fan place. I'm not sure what they're trying to say. So yeah, and again afterwards they were very belligerent. Said no, if you don't like it, it's because you're a bigot. You're a bigot. You didn't like the black color of the skin of the Doctor because you're a bigot. No, you just made shit, and we called you out. Case in point, Guardian editorial, Martin Bell. Oh man. So this is I did a video on this a couple of days ago. So this is a response to that Guardian editorial, which was a big deal. A big deal. It's basically saying Doctor Who's over, right? We've lost. The war's over. It was an article like getting ahead of the defeat. Pending article which he suggests it's time for the Doctor Who to die. It isn't just the budgets and production values such as The Mandalorian or Loki that are upstaging Doctor Who. Again, Doctor Who is, as long as it looks contemporary, you can go on forever with it. But that it doesn't have to look the best thing in the world. And frankly, I don't think it looked a million miles away from Loki. Which seemed, Winter Soldier that had that looked like it had money put into it. You had some very big special effects sequences, big fight sequences. There was a fight sequence with the new Captain America and what was it, his sidekick? That was really good on top of moving vans. There was a lot of stuff that was very good in that. But Loki, yeah, even though they did shoot it on that super expensive set, which has LCD screens as background, so they can move around. It's very clever how they do it. Anyway, something like WandaVision seems in a different league, and even taking into account COVID, with only 8 episodes expected in the delayed season, it's not delayed. BBC's production pace is glacial compared to the streaming rivals. Just as 70s Doctor Who looked cheap and wobbly besides blockbusters such as Star Wars, now the show now suffers by comparison with Marvel TV shows. I don't think so. I disagree with that. I think it's the writing that's the problem. It's a scathing criticism, and it has led to more heated debate. Well, listen, I'm glad that we've shaken it out a bit. However, it would be fair to say Doctor Who doesn't need to be exterminated. It just needs to do what it has done many times before. The show is defined by its ability to change. It's not defined by its ability to change. That's something built into the show, but it's not defined by it. That's just a what's the word? That's a soundbite that sounds good. That justifies you, but it's not actually true, right? Yes. Built into the concept is the ability to change. Doctor Who is very mutable and can actually be any genre. But again, it's the core of Doctor Who is that he is a iconoclastic. He's a rebellious genius, somebody who has thrown off the constraints of his own privileged people and gone to do good. And then it's about friends having fun in time and space, basically, after beyond that. It needs to move forward its 60th anniversary by regenerating itself once again. Well, we know that. The core problem with Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who is that it puts classic series above the new. No, it doesn't. It puts destroying the classic series above the new. Best exemplified by the Timeless Child retcon, which revealed the Doctor is not a Time Lord after all. Rather, she is a Timeless Child, a cosmic being who potentially predates the universe and became the base genetic code for the entire Time Lord race. When you super power a hero, you take away whatever's interesting about it. right? It's a real mistake. It's a real mistake, and it's a mistake done by talentless hacks. And here comes Chris Chibnall fitting into that. The core problem with this retcon is it only really matters to old school fans, people who have an emotional connection with the idea of William Hartnell as the first Doctor. Yeah, yes, you're 100% above target. That's why it was done. It was done because, again, look at this. Look at them sneering, right? This is crib. They're sneering at you. Look at you. You like your William Hartnell being the first Doctor. Let me take that away from you. Oh, where's this? It's ours now. Oh, yes. Again, look at the sneering. Look at the... What? I have a black person there. You don't like black people? You're a bigot. That's 100% what went down, okay? 100. This is such a useful demonstration. It was done to take Doctor Who away from people who loved it for several reasons. One, Dave Cullen has a video out in which he ponders if making all these woke versions of things we love to be awful is part of the plan, is actually on purpose, because they want to demoralize this section of the world which they hate, and they want them to be depressed, right? They want to take things away from them, and they want to taste their sweet fanboy tears. That's what they want, right? That's the first thing. And the second thing is they want to say, look, we're the future now. We're the stunning and brave future now. And unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. They've lost their viewership. They've completely lost their viewership. The plot twist doesn't have any impact on the Doctor or on an emotional level, because the Doctor ultimately concluded that she had never been defined by her past before. And also, let's be fair, Jodie Whittaker doing emotion is like, basically that's what she does. She like scrub like that, and like doesn't seem that impressive to me, right? Have you ever seen her have a confrontation? She's just useless. She's just useless. I would love to crowdsource us getting her to read the "Have I the Right" speech from Genesis of the Daleks. Do I have the right? I don't know. Oh, I'm a Karen. The plot twist doesn't have an impact on emotion because the Doctor will advance, and she wouldn't start now. The Time Star reveal is a continuity twist, important only because it rewrites canon, not because it matters the character and story terms. Yeah, very good. That's a good point. I mean, she was a bit like, ooh, flustered. A little bit, and then she had a talk with Ryan, and it was all better. Ooh, I had a talk with Ryan and a little talk with Dr. Martin, Dr. Joe, and it was all okay. Looking beyond the Chibnall has focus on Doctor's production values, not on its storyline. That's why the last two seasons are so short. Doctor Who's season 13 will just have 8 episodes. The problem is exacerbated by the pandemic. Stories are overly dependent on a third act twist that haven't always been set up. See Yaz and her mental problems. Nothing was set up about that. Especially Orator and the companions are underdeveloped. Yeah, Yaz is a blank of wood. A block of wood. A blank block of wood. The 13th Doctor has the most diverse TARDIS crew in history, and Chibnall was interested in social comedy, yet Doctor Who has largely ignored the problem of British racism. Because there isn't one. There isn't a problem with British racism. I mean, unless you're talking about anti-Semitism, which is 100% flag-wavingly supported by all the people who love this era of Doctor Who. They all love Jeremy Corbyn. They all, that all I met. They all love Jeremy Corbyn. I'm talking about the rabid fans. They all love Jeremy Corbyn, and they all get annoyed when you point out that he meets the dictionary definition, the legal and dictionary definition of an anti-Semite. They go, whatever. It's like, and they will fight with you about it, which is again, if you did that to another racial group, they'll be called bigotry, not with you. So yeah, British racism. You're talking about anti-Semitism? No, not so much. You're talking about left-wing racism. You're talking about this like the critical race theory, which teaches that white people are intrinsically racist and evil, and black people are intrinsically pathetic. Pathetic victims who can't even get their own ID, and to ask them for ID is racist, right? Like that, I think, is inherently racist. That idea, like, oh god, can you imagine can you imagine going back 5 years in time and say, the people who think themselves as anti-racist, they're going to say black people are so stupid they can't get ID. Can you imagine? I would just wish I had a time-space telephone, because I would like, really? What? That makes no sense. You're right, it makes no sense. Let me tell you, that's not the weirdest thing in 2021, baby. 13th Doctor, most of us crew. Oh, reiteration, there are still glimmers of potential. Joe Martin's mysterious forgotten Doctor was introduced in Future Dadoon and proved an instant hit, but just aren't quite enough. The only reason she seemed good is because she was next to Jodie Whittaker, who is awful, right? You put Dr. Joe Martin next to pretty much any other Doctor, she's, you know what? She won't be as awful as Jodie. That's it. Fair enough. I said right from the beginning when they introduced it, when they had the implosion of ratings, right? The absolute rating implosions. What they should have done is make season 13 entirely a Doctor Ruth season. Have Chibnall produce it, and have Paul Cornell as the chief, the head writer of it. Have just good Doctor Who exciting adventures, right? And don't have any whatever. Just don't link it to the ongoing story. Then the last episode, you bring in Jodie's Doctor. You explain everything. You wrap it up. Boom, move on. You're done. And claim victory. No, you know why they didn't do it? Because they're morons. Fortunately, Doctor Who has always excelled in reinventing itself. Yeah, you can only reinvent itself if you haven't died. There's a point where your body is so damaged it can't regenerate. There's not enough of it left to regenerate, and I think we're probably getting there, because there's limitless potential to do so. In narrative terms, that's because the TARDIS is a convenient plot device to transport the Doctor and her friends. I'm sorry. Here's the thing. Doctor Who is a male role now. I'm one of the few people who thinks it can still be played by a woman, right? I don't want it to be, but I think it could be effectively played by a woman, but it's got to be viewed as a masculine role. While we pretend that men and women are interchangeable, then we're going to keep getting dross, because they're not. Men and women are equal and different. To any time and space, you can jump from historical to a dystopian future to an alien invasion in present day. The possibilities are limitless with the imaginations of writers, showrunners. That's what can save Doctor Who. So I hate to be the one to ask you this, but why have you done a 180 degree? Right? You used to be saying it was the best as ever, and now you don't have any data to back that up, and they're still saying it's the best, and everybody loves it. No. Erosity, they relaunched 2008. Was it Historical? Positive Limited. When Russell T Davies relaunched Doctor Who in 2005, he used the Time War as a convenient way of wiping out classic series slate clean, dropping decades of baggage in order to enthuse a new generation of fans. But in the same time, not like flushing it away. It became part of the continuity. In the same way, Chibnall needs to let go of the past and stop recycling stories that have already been told, because he can't tell you any new stories because he's a talentless hack. His Doctor Who basically plays like Doctor Who karaoke done badly. To stop recycling stories that have already been told or that were never quite told, and focus on moving the franchise forward. Yeah, no, he's only focused on destroying the franchise. Meanwhile, writing terms, priority needs to go to characterization. Graham, Ryan, and Yaz had phenomenal potential. Graham, I think, fulfilled it, just because on dent on the personality of whatever his name is. But he said he's retiring from acting in a couple of years. But did Dave Bishop got in a car crash? I hope he's okay. Like, really, dude, you got in one car crash. I think you already filmed another one that we're going to see very soon. Actually, they're probably going to give you the launch date for Doctor Who as well. I doubt it's August. That was one of the rumors, but I guess we'll find out. With the exceptional occasional episode of Can You Hear Me, the personalities were underdeveloped. They're still underdeveloped in Can You Hear Me, right? You saw no progression from one thing to the other. The best companions serve as a lens through which the Doctor is viewed and understood, but far too important stories but far too important stories of the Chibnall era sent them on side quests, with the Doctor eventually telling them what had to happen later. This Doctor's a moron. She can't tell anyone anything. But if Doctor Who Season 13 can actually sell its companions, including John Bishop's new companion Dan, it can breathe new life in the franchise. There's no new life coming into the franchise while Chibnall and Whittaker are running. Whittaker is just tainted the brand, right? She has to go. There's no way she's turning this around. Firstly, I just don't think she has the ability to do it. But there's no way she's going to, right? It's just not going to happen. Finally, the focus on production values needs to stop. Doctor Who could not compete with Star Wars in the 80s, and it can't compete with the Marvel Studios Lucasfilm now. I don't see such a massive difference, right? Just tell good stories. As long as it looks competent, right? As long as it's telling the story, and I'm not noticing how bad the special effects are, which means it's got to be competent for the day and age it's in. Which means, like in the 70s, it was there as well, right? It's got to be competent to tell the story. That's all. It shouldn't really be trying to, because nobody has ever watched Doctor Who for the best in special effects. Viewers tune in for the stories and for characters and adventures and intrigue. So again, why were you not saying this after season 11, where there were terrible stories, flat characters, no adventures, and zero intrigue? No, you went around saying it's the bestest ever, and anybody who says it's not is evil racist or bigot, and that's why this nonsense had continued, right? That's entirely why. I'm sorry. Your 180 is way too little, way too late. The attempt to make Doctor Who as a lavish as anything they made with Disney is doomed to fail simply because the BBC will never be able to afford to do so. They can't afford it. Worse, and if it was popular enough, they would, right? Here's the thing. If you make something a lot of people want, you're going to make more money from it. But you're not making anything from Doctor Who now. Worse, this Illifies ever came at a too heavy price, for it led to the seasons of Doctor Who having fewer episodes. This has cost Doctor Who a sense of momentum. I think that's more behind Chris Chibnall not wanting to write so many episodes. I really genuinely do. I think he does stuff like that. I'm convinced Brendan in The Time of His Children was to fool people into thinking they're watching Call the Midwife when they're channel surfing, and then stay for 2 minutes and they get counted as a view. That's how desperate I think they were for ratings, and they still got the lowest ratings ever, right? Other than Battlefield with that episode. There is one final fix, though. You haven't said the fix is just getting rid of the entire BBC management and the entire production group. Piers Wenger has to go. Get rid of all of these morons that have destroyed British television. And it goes beyond any decision Chris Chibnall can make. If the BBC wants Doctor Who to flourish, it will need to cash out on marketing. Okay, it's good to see Doctor Who return to San Diego 2021 with an advertised special guest, but who's hopefully a big name. Again, it could be. If it's a big name, I think David Tennant's the most likely candidate. But looking beyond this, the BBC needs to commit to making Doctor Who a success by treating season 13 as an actual event. Trailers should be running. No, they're not. They're embarrassed by it. They're not treating it. It's so clear that it's embarrassing and hated, and it's going to do bad. It's kind of like Doctor Who magazine now. I just did a review of that. I'm not sure when that's going up, but I just did a review of that, and it's when you read it, it's depressing. Because they feel like they're a defeated people, which they are. Essentially, they are. They feel this like down and defeated, and it's empty, and there's like they're folding it in. That's what Doctor Who feels. I think that's what season 13 is going to feel like. I don't think it'll end Chris Chibnall or Jodie Whittaker's career, because there's no sense of accountability. Right? Absolutely, there's no sense of accountability whatsoever. Trailers will be running after the key TV shows, reminding everyone Doctor Who's flagship TV is back, and it's about time. The more exposure it gets, I'm afraid, the more exposure, the more embarrassing it is. Right? That's basically the bottom line. So there you go. That's what they're saying they need to do to fix Doctor Who. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's just the bottom line. It's not going to happen. There's no will to happen. Maybe if the BBC goes under, that's the quickest way we're going to get watchable Doctor Who. Other than that, I don't see it happening in the near future. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin. You are a rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.